Hello, everybody. It's time for the Support Our Hashtag Creatives podcast. Tonight, our guest is Spencer Kelly, one of the producers of the documentary series Mighty Voices. We were hoping to have Danielle Earle on tonight, but unfortunately, she's not able to make it. But you will actually be seeing her recorded on later as you play something with her in it. So first, let me introduce myself. My name is Alan Greenstein. I'm the founder and producer of Support Our Hashtag Creatives. And our goal is to level the playing field for underrepresented creators and artists so that they have the same opportunities as everybody else to get their works created, distributed, and seen. I'm also on the board of directors of the Bella Levy Foundation. The goal of the Bella Levy Foundation is to fight human trafficking and provide a safe haven for its warriors. So, as I said, we have Spencer Kelly tonight of the documentary series Mighty Voices, Trailblazers of LGBTQ plus advocacy. So first, Spencer, please introduce yourself, and then we'll be on our way.
Yeah, of course. Alan, I definitely want to say thank you for having me on. I'm very excited to talk about this project and introduce it to your followers for sure. So my name is Spencer Kelly. I am born and raised in New Jersey, but I reside in Washington, D.C. for the past 10 years. And I've been in the TV and film world for about 5 to 6 years as a producer, assistant director, and coordinator.
Okay, very good. So tell us about the, what is your inspiration for making Mighty Voices?
Yeah, Mighty Voices came out with the idea through Danielle Earle, and she really brought me onto the project of really highlighting unspoken, underrepresented advocates and change makers in the state of Florida. Knowing that in the state of Florida in itself, a lot of laws and rights that has been affecting the LGBTQ community specifically. And we thought that we've never seen any representation in a type of TV or film style, long form, and we decided to do so. And we're hitting the ground running and really having some really talented, well-spoken, outspoken change makers, state senators, grassroots leaders, people within the drag community and the ball community as well. So we're very excited to really tell this story.
Oh, very good. Yeah. And what form will this project take? Is it going to be a feature? Will it be episodic? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it will be episodic. We definitely want to really highlight towards the empathetic nature of character, whether that is in multiple talking heads per episode or having a feature talent per episode. So we are looking at a 30 minute plus per episode, whether it's 5 episodes or 6. We haven't really determined that yet, obviously, because we're still in the storyboarding phase before production. But we really decided that instead of a one sit down, 1 hour, 2 hour type format, we wanted to break it up for sure and tell different stories and different perspectives through a lot of in real time events.
Oh, is this going to be shot in Florida or will it be going in different places?
Yeah, so we are focusing on Florida for the first breakout of episodes, but we have a really excited about looking at other states that have been affected, not just Florida, for instance, because that's not where all the laws happening or all the big time things are happening. So Florida is the main focus for right now.
Oh, okay. See, so how did you come up with the people that you want to feature on your on your project?
Yeah, good question, Alan. We definitely wanted to see who was represented in the community for one, because we definitely want to hear those first person perspectives. So we looked at state senators and House representatives people who are actually in those circles and making those changes in real time. But additionally, we also wanted to focus not on just the heavy hitters, as you can say, but the smaller people that are making on the ground changes, who are affecting underrepresented communities, as well as making long-term rules and laws. So we wanted to focus on both ends of small grassroots organizations and those big corporations.
Yeah. How did you get
Yeah.
the word out there that you were, making this, and how did you end up contacting, the bigwigs like the senators and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, Danielle's not on tonight, but she definitely has a great connection with the state of Florida. She is from that state as well. So she knows who exactly is connected to whom. And we just spread the word about, what we want to show, why we want to do Mighty Voices for one. And for two, that really just got the snowball rolling about who would love to be in front of the camera, and it was kind of easier than I thought of certain folks, especially within the Senate and the House, really wanting to be like, yes, I definitely want to speak. I definitely want to be heard. Get me involved as much as possible or a little as possible. So it really came just by nature of people who wanted to be part of this project, and we're really excited to involve them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What is your timeline for production of the project?
Yeah, good question. So we are still in pre-production right now. We're definitely raising some funds, some donors and sponsors, a lot of great, platinum and silver sponsors, as well as our fiscal sponsor who just joined us recently. So this time right now is more about that crowdfunding, all ancillary funds, whether that is to feed our crew, to make it down to Florida, because we won't have all local crew joining us. So, all the little and big things that you need to make a production happen, we're definitely starting that now, and crowdfunding will be launching very soon this month, actually. So we're very excited to really spread the word with our networks and our closest friends and family, as well as our business partners, with a goal of filming in October, around October, November of this year.
Oh, okay. Very
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stop for a brief commercial, and then we'll be right back.
Awesome.
I'm Alan Greenstein, founder and producer at Support Our Hashtag Creatives. At Support Our Hashtag Creatives, I offer a number of services to support those developing a project. Check out the services tab of my website at supportourcreatives.com. If you are interested, please use the contact tab on my website or email me directly at alan@supportourcreatives.com. Okay, and we're back. I think now would be a good time to show the pitch video that Danielle Earle created, and then we'll continue our discussion. So hold on a second. Hopefully I can push the right buttons to make that happen. So here we go. Okay, let's see.
Hello, my name is Danielle Earle. I'm the writer, producer, director of the LGBTQ feature film Lovers Game.
Why do you do this to yourself? It's a mirage of unfulfilled passion that can only end badly. I just don't want to see you get hurt again.
And also the award-winning web series Brooklyn is in Love.
There's no monsters around here. There's no monsters around here in Brooklyn.
Recently this year, I was elected Equality Champion for my advocacy work with LGBTQ youth and organizations in the state of New Jersey. Aside from being a filmmaker, I'm also a teacher. And today I want to talk to you guys about our Season Spark campaign for my upcoming docu-series, Mighty Voices, Trailblazers of LGBTQ Advocacy. This project will be showcasing incredible, fearless leaders through LGBTQ organizations, educators, politicians in the Sunshine State of Florida, which hasn't been much sunshine lately, with the vicious attacks towards LGBTQ youth. So I decided to roll up my sleeves and develop a doc-series with the help of my co-producer, Spencer Kelly. Mighty Voices, Trailblazers of LGBTQ Advocacy is a 6-episode series featuring interviews by Senator Sherman Jones, House Rep Michelle Rayner, Kathy Renna of National LGBTQ Task Force, Max Fenning of PRISM, Mateo Buer from Aqua Foundation. So check out the details on our Season Spark campaign. Help us make a difference by showcasing amazing, fearless leaders that have been making a difference in the state of Florida.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that is a very good pitch video. She really gets right to the point, tells us, exactly what the goal of this project is, Mighty Voices. Yeah. Yeah. So so when once again, when did you say that you were going to be starting the crowdfunding campaign?
It will be later this month, so we don't have a planned date, but definitely, follow us on Instagram and check out the mightyvoicesdoc.com, and we'll definitely be, launching very soon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me show that on the screen. Okay. There it is. Yeah. mightyvoicesdoc.com, and as you said, and also on Instagram and other. Okay, so once again, so is the crowdfunding campaign going to be your primary method of getting people to know about it and for funding? I mean, you mentioned already you've gotten sponsors and stuff like that, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Yeah. So, have you been involved in other projects that have with the LGBTQ community?
I have. This should have been part of my introduction before, but I call myself a neophyte producer, and that really means that I'm really new to the industry.
Oh, wow.
I don't have much experience, but I love doing small independent projects that really showcase the community that I'm a part of, because I also identify within the LGBTQ community as well as a Black man as well. So I really focus on those types of projects for the past couple of years. So a lot of the projects that I've been involved in for the past couple of years have been part of small doc style short films, small, just showcasing people's work in art, just expressing themselves in any which way, mixed media, as you can say. So this will be my first feature doc for sure. So now it's always a learning lesson for sure, just to, come in with fresh eyes, but then also be surrounded by really talented and experienced folks. So, I'm very excited for this docu-series.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So on your projects, are you let's for example, are you do your own post-production, or do you have other people do it for you?
Yeah, it's the latter. I do have, my go-to folks. So I'm based here in Washington, D.C., and D.C. is just a phenomenal community, very tight-knit film community for sure. And I have my go-to folks that I've always, bring on projects when I can. Sometimes they are tied down with, 2 or 3 other projects. But especially in post-production, I do have my go-tos.
Okay. I forgot to mention that I'm one of the executive producers of Mighty Voices, and and also, in case you didn't know, I live in not too far from Washington D.C. So and you live in Washington D.C. now also. Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Just we'll have to hook up in person.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Is there going to be a common thread that goes through all the episodes, or are they all going to be kind of independent of each other?
Yeah, good question. That is still to be determined. We really are focusing on that question right now, just because of the political election happening right now. We were deciding if that's is that the route we want to go towards, or do we really want to focus on the storytelling per character, per talent, for instance, of their background, of how involved are they in politics or their advocacy work? Do we want to involve the political session right now? Because it is a very crucial election year. So we are really in talks of what will tell the best story, because that's very important to me as a producer, and being on this project in itself, I really wanted to make sure that was being highlighted in any which way or form, but then also bring our creativity behind the producing as well. So it's not standard talking head and A cam and B cam and maybe just a floating camera walk and talk, but really adding different cuts and different edits into our docu-series and B-roll and just other content. So we're very excited to see which route we decide to go.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, considering the timing of it, this series was definitely be coming out after the election. So I guess that's one of the determining factors. So,
yes.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that all plays out. Because the question is, do you want something that might be more evergreen as opposed to focusing on current activities? I guess that's something you have to really decide. Yeah.
Yes. Right. And we also know too that in the spirit of filmmaking, you can have a plan. You can plan all you want, and then sometimes on the fly, or halfway through, or a quarter way through of shooting, you decide to change course a little bit. So we also are keeping that in mind as well, because we have some talented crew. Our director of photography, Ari Cooper, who is based in New York. We started prelim conversations of how do we want to tell the story, and how do we want to show it through through a lens, through a camera, through someone else's perspective, just because we want to definitely draw attention to our audience. We definitely don't want to lose our audience as well, whomever that is, whether that is our allies or people part of the community or like thereof. So we want to make sure that people's stories are being heard and told, and also continuing that conversation after this docuseries is put on air and shared across all platforms.
Yeah. And what are your plans for the platforms that you would want this to be seen on?
Yeah, good question. Very good question. A lot, I don't have to say a lot has been undetermined, but we definitely don't want it to be, a one and done, or, a small, docu-series that is kind of hidden, not under those, small platforms, whether you can say a YouTube or a streaming service, for instance. We definitely want to, think big or go home, as I like to say. Because we want this to reach all corners of the world, all avenues, for sure. And even thinking about distribution and post production, because sometimes you got to think of the now, but you also have to think of the future. We have to start somewhere, and we want to make sure this story is introduced into smaller circles that have bigger ties and bigger connections, to those bigger publishing houses, to those big streaming platforms like a Netflix or Hulu, for instance, because we also want to make sure that it's not taken in the wrong hands or it is shared, or we don't want to be miscredited or misrepresented. Excuse me. So, that's all part of the conversation right now during pre-production. Like I said, planning as much as possible, and also being very strategic in the sense too. But really also being free flowing as well, and seeing who, what doors we enter and who wants to reach out to us. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So well, it remains to be seen,
Yes.
which how this thing ends up being distributed. And you do you have any intention, or maybe I just haven't thought about it yet, is what to do continuing possibly after the first 5 or 6 episodes, or a second season or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said too, we want to continue the conversation. So that is not just having a film premiere and then a small Q&A and that's it. We really want to continue the conversation, because changes are politics and laws and rights are always changing, and especially being affected towards the LGBTQ community. So that means that we want to have those conversations, whether that is introducing this film to a small town that is not being seen, but they're making waves in the news. Okay, what can we do after this film to continue that conversation, or really make sure that we are under the microscope of the media in a good way, if you know what I mean. We're really making sure that we are talking to our neighbors, talking to our allies of, people say they're allies, but that means they need to make actionable action, as I like to say. So really, having those types of conversations and forums and representation just all across the board.
So it sounds like it could end up being like what I would think of like as a multimedia kind of thing. Like example, besides the actual series itself, you might have other things like maybe putting out textual matter about it, and or various things like that. This way people will have different ways of picking up your message. If you have besides just having the docu-series, to have a book that comes out of it, or just like you said, meetings around the country about it.
Yes, absolutely, and access is very, very important, because you can't just assume that everyone can turn on their TV or head to a movie theater to watch this docu-series or our project. So making sure they have access in different forms and the ways to digest that information, because some people digest information differently, whether that is multimedia or, like you said, a pamphlet or something that's textual or print, or on a billboard or, on a bus cling. So, different ways that we can, spread the message and, of course, make our voices heard. So, yes.
Yeah. And have you considered joining with other organizations that are also making projects, so that maybe you would have some kind of a festival with all the different with your project and their projects in it also?
Yes, absolutely. And backtracking on what you asked earlier of who are we partnering with or who's our sponsors, we really focused on grassroots organizations in the state of Florida and around the country, who are doing this in real time. Whether that is they only support these types of films, or they're in production right now on a certain matter but not the same subject. So we really made sure that we were being strategic in our message, and sharing that pitch video, for instance, and other materials to say like, hey, we're on the same synergy as you. Would you like to partner with us, or how can you contribute, or even just pass this along to 5 colleagues of yours? That was definitely part of our course of action as well.
Yeah. I think that is a great idea. you have all the like-minded people getting together to come up with something really great. Yeah.
Yes.
So, are you still looking for people to be on the assorted episodes, or do you already have everybody that you need for this first season, or whatever you want to call it?
I would say we do have everyone that we need at the moment, but
Okay.
more the merrier. I would never want to hold back of, someone, passing passing an opportunity to us, or, like thereof, because it's definitely a two-way street of spreading the knowledge and spreading the wealth. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us, through our website and through our social media channels, as well as our email as well, because we're all more than willing to, partner and to share and keep the conversation going.
Yeah. So your website, mightyvoicesdoc.com, from there, people, that would be the place people can go to
Yes.
for anything having to do with the documentary.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
And do you have links to your social media, like IG and all that, within the website?
That's correct. And
Okay,
our
good,
IG,
good.
our IG is the same tag of Mighty Voices Doc. That's our ad on Instagram. And our Gmail as well is just mightyvoicesdoc@gmail.com.
Okay. Yeah, but the main thing is that if they go there to that website, they can
Yes.
they can get everything from there. So therefore, this is really the only link they have to be concerned with. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Have you come up with any big challenges yet, even in pre-production, that you've had to overcome?
Oh, good question. You're gonna have me thinking for a minute. I would just say time. So even though that we are just, weekly, whether that is via phone call, our production team, whether that is just via phone call or text, or even just trying to find a time to virtually meet, over Zoom, it's very important for us to consider time because time has really been catching up with us. We kind of started this process back in, earlier this year, March and April, and it's already August, already thinking about it. So, time is flying by, and, there are certain benchmarks that we want to hit, during the pre-production process that kind of has caught up to us a little quicker than expected. But we're still pacing with our time, and I'm, very grateful for just the production team that we have, and we're hitting our benchmarks before we, start filming, which is very exciting to say. But yes, it's all. I definitely want to say you can't make a film without money.
Yeah.
In any type of form. Whether if you just want to pick up a camera and shoot, or you want to go a little bit deeper and be a little bit more planning and strategic with it. So that is one of our main concerns before we start anything, is to make sure we have a plan and some funds to do what we really want to do, and make this something worth meaningful and worthwhile for others to digest. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised that 6 months has gone by, since you kind of started this. I mean, that, I guess that happens on any project of any kind. It's always going to take
Yes.
longer than you think. But I think that getting it right, taking the time to get it right, is really important. So you do everything you have to do. As a matter of fact, the more you do in pre-production, that the less chance there's going to be problems later on, since you are still early in the process. And that's true in anything. The earlier you can catch the problems, the better off you'll be in the future. Because if you get further along and you end up with problems, it's going to be more costly to recover from it. So
yes,
you got the right idea. I like the idea about having frequent meetings with the stakeholders, right? So that everybody will know exactly what they should be doing or can be doing, and making that clear. That's all part of the pre-production process. So
yes,
yeah.
I definitely wanted to add. Sorry, Ellen, and I definitely wanted to add too, of just being a creative in general. That could be that is the pros and cons of making sure you want to make it right and make it almost perfect. But there's no such thing as perfect, because you can do all that you want to do. You have a certain mindset and a goal and all this pre-production that you want to plan for. But also too, things come last minute, or plans change. But it's
Yeah.
still perfect in the sense of you made it happen. So we're just excited as a team to make it happen very soon, and just keep that ambition and drive and exhilaration going. 6 months after, 6 months, before, 6 months, 12 months ahead from now. So, we still want to keep that joy going forward. So,
Yeah. This is a great way of proceeding. Yeah.
yes.
And as I said, I'm looking forward as an executive producer to being involved in your meetings, figure out how my services could best be used.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have another brief commercial, and then we'll be right back. I'm Alan Greenstein, founder and producer at Support Our Creatives. If you make something, albeit make a movie, start a business, write a book, make a physical product, run a nonprofit, promote people, are a songwriter, etc., you too are a creative, and I would love to have you be a guest on the Support Our Creatives podcast. If you want to be featured on this podcast, please use the contact tab on my website at supportourcreatives.com, or email me directly at alan@supportourcreatives.com. Okay, so we're back. Would you like to talk about some of the other projects that you've worked on that, not necessarily related to LGBTQ, but just in general, some of the projects you've worked on?
Yeah, no, absolutely. For sure. So I would definitely, like I shared about short films. I love short films. Not removing my producer hat, I love also to be an assistant director. I love, breaking up the script and character development, and was just really diving deeper into the script pages is just one of my forte. And a recent short film that I worked on was called Love Culture. It was based here in DC, Maryland area. We filmed overnight. We did an overnight schedule. It was
Wow.
3 days straight, from a 10 p.m. to like a 7 a.m. each day. So mind you, your sleep clock is different. You really can't prepare for an overnight schedule. But it was really great just with the crew and the talent, specifically based off a story of two different cultures, Indian man and a Black man, who have been partners for a very long time. And the story surrounds them of their mothers meeting each other for the first time over dinner. Knowing that sometimes families are not accepting, or they're sometimes tolerable about, their son or daughter's lifestyle. This story really surrounds about, the innate love and just like, character between these two main characters and their moms, and how they come to a consensus of almost a life or death scenario happening during this dinner, where the moms realize that their sons are meant for each other. And it was really great, just, when filming, like I said, over this overnight schedule, the energy sometimes could be low. Like you're filming at like a 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and your body's telling you to go to sleep, but you're on set. And you really have to, be in character and, keep the energy flowing, whichever scene that we're filming. So part of my job, and this is just by nature of an assistant director, is really keeping the set as a glue, making sure that talent is taken care of, making sure that crew is taken care of, making sure the production team is taken care of, and just being that, almost middleman person to make sure that, high spirits and, making sure everyone's fed and hydrated. So, that was just a phenomenal film to be a part of. And, actually yesterday was the premiere of this film, because we filmed it earlier this year in January. So it just got, done, final cut and everything. And it's already been accepted to seven film festivals already. So it's really, really
Excellent.
great project to see coming together, and still going.
Okay. And what's the name of the project again, so people can be on the lookout for it?
Yeah, it's Love Culture.
Love Culture. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm really excited about that. Hopefully it'll come to a film festival around here, the Washington, D.C.
Yes,
area.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you primarily a director, or what's your favorite discipline to be working on when you're doing your projects?
It is, my favorite discipline is producing. And then I would say the one that comes after that is assistant directing. So,
okay.
Yes.
Got it. Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So do you have anything to add about Mighty Voices that we haven't already mentioned?
No, I think we covered all grounds, and I definitely want to say it again that I appreciate this platform, Alan, to be a part of, and absolutely the ones watching too. So hopefully you guys can stay along the journey and see what comes about with Mighty Voices.
Yeah, I've been working with Danielle Earle forever, it seems, and that's why it's so great to be involved with this project. Okay, This is great. Okay, once again, Mighty Voices, Trailblazers of LGBTQ Advocacy at mightyvoicesdoc.com. Looks like I have a typo in this caption here, but anyway, we mentioned it. And so this is the one-stop shop. Any you're interested in this, go to this website, and soon the crowdfunding will be available. You can get to it from the website also, right? So this is the place to go. So I'd like to thank you, Spencer, for being on here, and thanks to Danielle Earle for being part of the project too. And we'll have to have you guys both on again, in the future.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna get ready to say goodnight now, and so let's see, so good night, everybody.
Here's a message about Crystal Starnes, advocate for victims and podcaster.
Are you an entrepreneur, actor, music artist, or someone trying to make a difference in the community, or have a story that could help someone suffering in silence? If your answer is yes, then you need to check out Crystal Starnes' various podcast shows that she produces and hosts. Come on one of her shows and make a difference. Promote your business on her platforms. Ask her about package deals to get your brand more noticed. Want a commercial about your business done by her voice? She also offers package deals for that service. You can find her at crystalstarneshow.com and voiceforvictimsradio.com. Also, if you want access to all her podcast shows and blogs, join her community awareness page for just $4.99 a month. That's right, just $4.99 a month. Then you would have access at a click of a button to her various platforms. Crystal Starnes is trying to make a difference for all people in the world. She wants to help as many people as she can so no one is suffering in silence. Anyone who has a vision and wants to achieve their dream, she has a passion to help promote you to get you to the next level of success.